Bloody stop thinking. Learn to look at things the way they are. Thinking means what? You're recycling your old data. No, it's mental diarrhea happening. I don't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be an engineer, I don't want to be an accountant. I said, okay, I'll go to the army.
Really?
You will think I'm doped, which I am. I'm stoned all the time, no substance. This is the greatest chemical factory. Right now, there is a whole lot of your tribe, entrepreneurs, who think only if you're stressed, we will think properly.
Welcome to Hindustan Times presents The Impossible Show, the incredible stories of Bharat ke superheroes.
So what is it? You're a toddler, diaper problem. If you become an adolescent, you have hormonal issues. If you become middle-aged, it's a crisis. If you become old age, it's horrendous. Tell me, when is it good for you? This is the only thing you have and that's the most fragile thing. Poof, it'll go away.
I must say that uh, what you built here is incredible. I had the great honor to be across the ashram. I went to the
Oh,
Surya Kund.
the buildings are not everything, it's the people.
It's the community. I think the people, the volunteers.
No,
I
no,
met so many
individual people
volunteers.
that I've built, you must see them. That's my work, not the buildings. Buildings are there, but only to service the people, isn't it?
शुरू करें? స్వామి గారు
Namaskaram.
నమస్కారం. సద్గురు గారు బాగా ఉన్నారా?
బాగున్నాను కదా?
ఐపీఎల్ చూస్తున్నారా?
Huh?
ఐపీఎల్ చూస్తున్నారా?
ఒకే ఒక మ్యాచ్ చూశానండి.
ఎలాగా ఉన్నది మ్యాచ్?
Huh?
మ్యాచ్ ఎలాగా ఉన్నది?
మ్యాచ్ ఏం లేదండి, అంత ఒకే టీము.
మీరు ఫేవరెట్ టీమ్ చెన్నై ఉంది.
నా ఫేవరెట్ టీమ్ క్రికెట్ అండి. I'm not avoiding anything. I'm an avid, at least was, now there's no time, very avid follower of football around the world. People always ask, Sadhguru, which is your favorite team? I don't look at a match like that. Even when I watch cricket, I'm not looking at the score, I'm watching ball to ball. Because that's where the game is.
యా యా
Score is a childish arithmetic. Yes, it matters, somebody wins, somebody loses, but for me, every ball, how it's being done and how it's bowled, how it's hit, how it's fielded, I'm watching this. If they're doing it well, I enjoy it. I don't care who they are, I won't even know who they are.
దిస్ ఈస్ అ ఎక్సలెంట్ స్టార్ట్ ఇన్ మై మైండ్ బికాస్ ఇన్ టుడేస్ వరల్డ్ ఆఫ్ సోషల్ మీడియా అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ ద స్కోర్ అండ్ హూస్ యువర్ ఫేవరెట్ టీమ్.
That's because they don't know the game. They don't know nothing about the game. Because they have not watched test matches and the nuances of cricket, there's so many nuances to the game, which is very unique compared to any other game. But these people have all probably grown up just watching T20. They think they don't know the difference between baseball and cricket. Hit the ball, run and score and count the numbers. This is very simplistic.
I think enjoying the game for what it is, in my view, something that I believe will give so much peace on X and Instagram, where team clubs have become the single biggest matter of fight. So I'm so happy you're saying this. So Sadhguru, let's now go to a little bit lighter question. Sadhguru, inka bike నడిపిస్తున్నారా?
ఇప్పుడు వచ్చాను కదండి.
Bike లో?
ఆ,
That's incredible.
మీరు లేదు కదా అవతల, నేనేం చేసేది?
So I'm staying at Nalanda, and I saw your beautiful ESD there.
That I'm not riding. That's too antique to ride now. They made a coffee table book. There's the company, the Iranis who made that. So in that, they put it out that in a single calendar year, I am the only rider who pushed a SD to that many kilometers.
Really?
On an average, I was doing anywhere between 54 to 60,000 kilometers a year. I would change…
60,000?
Yeah, I would change 5 to 6 sets of tires. I would rebore the engine about 4 times in a year.
And what about biking is so that attracts you?
It's not about biking, I don't see it as that. It's just that at that time, I don't know what I'm looking for. But I know what is there and what everybody is doing in their day-to-day lives is just not enough. That much I know clearly,
Correct.
100%. I don't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be an engineer, I don't want to be an accountant. When family started pushing, you must choose something, I said, okay, I'll go to the army.
Is that why you have the
No, 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 this is… the BSF wanted to honor me, so I want to remind
sure,
people,
uh, of the
right
great
now you're
service,
sitting here running, push, 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 you have a cooler running, all this. Stand in the Rajasthan border, now.
or in Siachen?
Arey, Siachen is nice now, huh?
In the summers, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Uh,
Jaisalmer is not fun now.
just walk on the Rajasthan border right now and through this summer, 8 hours a day, then you will see what's BSF, all right. For me, tears come when I just think about them. I've been there and I've seen men how they go through it. Now there are women also in
Yeah,
the BSF.
yeah, yeah. So Sadhguru, going back to your story, your parents pushed you to find out something.
No, no, they're not wanting me to find out anything. They want me to do something which is already found out. Because that's what is safe. No parent wants you to find out something, all right?
Correct. My parents
What is
too.
already found, do it. I'm a doctor, you become a doctor. If you can't become a doctor, become an engineer. If you can't become an engineer, do business or commerce or something. No, I'm not interested in any of those things. So what? So I thought at least if I go to the army, I'll escape from everything, and above all, army promised us adventure.
Correct.
There was one Colonel Kumar, I don't know if you heard of him, maybe you're too young for that. He was legendary at that time. He was a mountaineer and he climbed… I think he did Kanchenjunga a couple of times. So, I was part of the Deccan mountaineering. So he came and spoke to us, he was, he showed all his toes gone in his frostbite stuff. So, I thought the best thing is join the army, at least you get to climb a mountain and do something. And I was also into hang gliding. So, armed forces were the only ones who were doing hang gliding at that time. So I thought if I go to the army, maybe they'll let me fly. Maybe they would just make me do this, I don't know, but that was a dream.
Sadhguru, you were rebellious right from the get-go.
I didn't think I'm rebellious, I just did what I want. Everybody thinks you're doing something rebellious. What is human nature? Tell me. If you don't mess them up from early on, which nobody could do to me, what is human nature? Human intelligence is looking what is what. This is not just human nature, this is the nature of all life. Leave one rodent here, that guy will explore every hole, every corner, everything that's there. In 5 minutes, he'll know the entire damn place. Yes or no?
Absolutely.
It's just that our scale is bigger, that's all, being human. So they think this is rebellious, it's nothing rebellious, it's the nature of a human being to search. You destroyed this possibility of human beings searching and knowing things with the ideas of religion, nationalities, various kinds of identities which they want you to be limited within that identity to serve them in some way. Otherwise, is it not, if you did not mess a child with any kind of belief system, any kind of philosophy, any kind of scripture, would he not ask the question, how did all this happen? Where did I come from? I was not there and now I'm here, where do I come from? My grandfather was here and he's gone now, where is he gone? Is it not a question every child will ask?
Yeah.
No, before he asks, he say, grandfather came from God and went back to God and he's playing cricket with God, depends which country you are, okay? So once you start telling lies like this all over the place, then you destroyed the search. Otherwise, every child, natural intelligence is such, it will seek, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing rebellious about it. I didn't think I was rebellious, I was just doing what was natural to me and everybody was boiling and hopping, that's their rebellion.
The reason I said so, Sadhguru, is because in a small way, I feel I had a childhood similar to you. I was always the kid who was asking weird questions. I didn't pursue my university. My parents told me that you should do something. I dropped out after my high school and I started a business of my own. So I always, and everybody around me would say, like, you're very rebellious. So when I got the opportunity to read your story, I felt, I think it's just perspective of curiosity, or like you say, seeking, that
There is a natural seeking for human intelligence. A rodent will see where all the food is. If you leave a dog, it's go on smelling, what's it doing?
by themselves.
It's seeking. What? He knows he's seeking.
Yeah.
He's seeking food and he's seeking a mate all the time. A human being, his intelligence allows him to seek something much bigger, that's about it.
And then, Sadhguru, do you, and I know you mentioned about identities not being such a great thing, but would you call yourself, because you mentioned about borders, countries, various things, would you call yourself a free-thinking libertarian as an outcome?
Why are you fixing an identity like that?
I knew you would say this, but I felt I'll ask you anyway.
It sounds quite laborious, free thinking, this thing. I don't think most of the time. Just yesterday I was telling somebody, buddy, stop thinking. Learn to look at things the way they are. Thinking means what? You're recycling your old data. If you don't stop this nonsense, you will do nothing new ever in your life. Because old data keeps circulating and you think you're thinking. No, it's mental diarrhea happening.
Yeah, I love
So,
that
I'm
word.
not free thinking, I'm not in a diarrheal state. When I want to think, I think consciously,
You look at
otherwise…
it and see it for what it is.
Isn't that how you perceive life? Is there some other way?
Like you said, that is what human behavior is, naturally.
No, but the human behavior is so messed up simply because of the identities we have taken. Identities we
fixated.
have taken is just from the memories that we hold, isn't it? If I pull out your memory chip, then what are you? So, there is life and life process beyond psychological process. We're just too lost in our own psychological process. What this means is, you are not involved in the larger creation. You are too fascinated with your own silly creation that you're doing in your head. You think too much of yourself, to put it simply.
No, absolutely, Sadhguru. And I think it's an important point saying that you can either think too much,
No,
but
no, no,
leave
no, I
out
don't
the
agree.
opportunity
No, no,
of…
no, I don't agree. Nobody in the world is thinking too much. I think they're not thinking enough. It's just that their thinking is so frictious that if they think 10 thoughts, they'll feel stressed. And
बहुत सोच लिया।
they think they're thinking too much. Right now you are appreciating my SD. Those days, I was built like that, I was made like that. Many days I would ride 11 to 1200 kilometers on the roads of India of that day, all
That
right?
means almost no break.
No break, no such thing. I didn't know what's a break. Even now I don't have a break in my life. So, full on, 5 times I'll fill the tank in a day, okay? I'm not going to some place. I'm just seeing India. I've absorbed India like that, without any pride or prejudice about it, simply absorbed India the way it is.
No biases, nothing, just seeing people.
No, just seeing. Never checked into any Oyo hotel or nothing. I just went and introduced myself and stayed in somebody's house in the village. Some people welcomed me and may give me a small place, some people said sleep outside.
Oh, so you just basically were wandering. So when you're riding, if you had to sleep somewhere in the day, you just go knock a door and ask for help.
Sometimes, if I'm short of food, I go to places where people will offer me some food and some place to sleep. Sometimes no. Otherwise, I'll climb up a tree and sleep on the tree. Probably I'm the only one who could sleep soundly upon my motorcycle. I'd slept on my motorcycle.
You slept on your motorcycle
Yes.
for a night.
There's no full night for me. Even now, there's no full night. If I sleep for a couple of hours, I'm fine.
That's enough. That's incredible, Sadhguru. So, Sadhguru, I think… Sorry, I'm switching gears to talk a little bit
No,
about…
losing direction.
Yeah.
It's called, not switching gears. Switching gears means we're speeding up.
That's a good way to put it.
No, switching gears means we're going faster.
In the same direction.
Ah.
No, we have to… I think we are going to change direction.
We need to do the handlebar or the steering wheel, depends what you're…
We are going to do the handlebar on the other side. So, Sadhguru, let's talk a little bit about education. We are here at Jnanashala, the home school. For those of our viewers, Jnan in Tamil means, if I understand it right, Gyan, which is knowledge, So we are at Jnanashala. What inspired you to bring this, Sadhguru? I also got the opportunity to speak to some of your students. They have a fascinating perspective,
I
and
hope they have something nice to say.
they had all great things to say. They had all great things to say. So, what inspired you to build this?
See, when I went to school, there are many aspects, I don't want to go into everything. Much has been spoken already about my, what to say,
Childhood.
lack of schooling kind of thing. But one thing I noticed was, I have a billion questions, like a cloud hanging around me. Anybody I see, I will torture them with questions, but you see almost nobody has any genuine answer. They'll all quote something. So nobody says, what is my experience of life and this is what it is, this is what I've realized, this is what I've gleaned from life. No, they said this book says this, that man said this is a great man, he said that. So essentially all of them are trying to establish an authority. Nobody is interested in truth. Authority is the truth in their life. God said it, some sage or saint said it, God's son said it, God's messenger said it, my guru said it, my father said it. Doesn't matter what said, you're trying to establish an authority. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the truth. Do you have even a tiny bit of truth for me? No.
Yeah.
You're quoting and quoting nonsense. So when I went and saw in the school, I could figure out what they're talking, not of great importance to me. But the important thing is, essentially they were talking something which doesn't mean a damn thing to them. There were few teachers who stood out. They were talking something that matters to them. I don't care whether it's physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, this, that, whatever. But I'm willing to listen to somebody only if it means something to someone. They're talking something that means something to them. You think it's great nonsense and you're telling me, I'm not interested. Even today, people ask me, Sadhguru, where is this patience from? People are talking such stupid things and you listen to them. I said, because it means something to them. If they say one word that doesn't mean anything and they think it's some great
Random thing
rubbish,
to say, huh?
I'm done with them. So you say something which means something to you.
You believe
Once I realized that they're talking things which don't mean a damn thing, it's just a way of earning a living for them, I am out of the window. Fortunately, in my school there were no window bars.
So
I
you
was
could not
always out.
bunk your classes.
Huh?
You could not bunk your classes.
What do you mean?
Bunking is like you can just leave. Lot of
No, it was very simple. Right through my high school, it was like this. We go first in the morning, there's one period where the attendance happens.
Correct.
I finish that, after that there's an assembly. Assembly time, I take out my socks and keep it in my pocket. They say, get out. That's all. I went to the lake, I swam, I caught fish, ate. I went on the mango trees, I caught snakes, I did all kinds of things, birds.
You found a way to be asked out of the class.
See, it was legal. I didn't run
Just
away.
about legal. So Sadhguru, you talked about snakes. I grew up in a place called Raigada in Odisha, Andhra Pradesh borders. That's how I know Telugu.
I know Raigad,
You know about Raigada?
very connected to Raigad.
That's incredible. So our place has 80% forest cover, as you would know, Sadhguru. So our house, all the time there would be some snake or the other that will be found, right? So we got used to having snakes, right? Like we were not like scared of having snakes, which is what you see typically in urban town, or some people think if there's a snake you should be very scared. But I see the significance of Naga in the ashram in Nalanda. We were just seeing that even behind the doors, the Chitkani, even that had Naga on it. What is your relationship with snakes and Naga?
The important thing is, in the development of human consciousness, in the development of human intelligence, one significant stage is that of a reptile. In your brain, because you didn't go to school, I'm explaining all these things.
Thank you, Sadhguru. I came here for wisdom anyway, and you invited me to Jnanashala at this beautiful courtyard, so I thought might as well.
So, in your brain, there is a small fist-sized brain which is called the reptilian brain.
In human brain itself.
Yes, yes. I said, you're human, right?
Of course.
So, there's a reptilian brain. This brain is not a thinking brain. It does everything automatic. In a large capacity, most of the things you are is in this. The trouble that you create for yourself is in the rest of the cerebral cerebral flower that's come above over that. This allows you to think, this allows you to project, this allows you to do things. But your entire survival process, your motor skills, everything is in the reptilian brain. It's automatic brain. And that is most important. If that doesn't function, this one is nothing. This is the fluff. We can do lot with fluff, of course. I'm not saying fluff in a negative way, but it's like in the brain, if you look at it, it's like the fluff. So, because generally in this civilization it was never so, because after the Europeans came, because they did not know anything more than their thought. They had no insights, they had no, deeper ways of divining things. For them, free thinking became like liberation, because they grew up and they lived and they suffered religious persecution like nobody. That if you think anything other than what's written in the book, you're dead. You know, those millions of women who were burnt on the stake, what was their crime in Europe? It's just this, they were doing something other than what's written in the book. That's all. For that, they were burnt alive in millions, not in one or two. So that was the level of control, that if you think differently, other than the way the religion teaches, you should not exist. I always keep joking about this. There are two ways of answering a question. If you know how to answer, you answer the question. Otherwise, you kill the questioner. Question is gone for now. And nobody else will dare to articulate the same question again in this generation. Hello? It's happening, right? Even today it's happening. You ask a question, we'll kill the questioner. Finished. Question is over. So this is how it was. When they broke through that, this, they call this the age of enlightenment. All they could do was, they could think free of the scriptures that they were attached to. Not fully free, little bit over. Suddenly it's the age of enlightenment.
That led to the age of enlightenment.
I'm not calling it enlightenment, they call it.
So-called.
In this civilization, we've never attached much significance to human thought, because human thought is just recycling of existing data. If you perceive this, you can multiply this in your mind in many different ways. Not that it's not useful, it's useful to create atmospheres, it's useful to survive, it's useful to run economics and stuff, which is all survival glorified if you ask me. Hello?
Yeah.
Just survival glorified and taken to such limits that it doesn't matter, after 10,000 years we're still fighting for survival is stupid, because we've upped the bar in such a way. Even if you're a billionaire, you're still struggling for survival in the billionaire world. I'm telling you.
Which is, by the way, I agree, is true. Because for whatever reason, all of us are getting past every day in a manner where there is this pursuit that we are all on. But Sadhguru, I think the point that you mentioned is a very important one, and I think about it often as well, which is even on a scientific side, we are all trying to be a derivation of what already exists out there, rather than creating something entirely new. If you look at science also, the number of breakthrough inventions that have come in the last 5 or 6 decades have been so much lesser than what used to be earlier, that when light was invented or various other
Nobody invented light.
I mean, not light, bulb. My apologies. Light has always been there.
Light has been there, all right?
Bulb or electricity or one of them.
Whatever. See, the thing is this, if you know nothing, you go to school and they taught you how to count up to 5, not 10, up to 5, you feel enlightened, all right?
Correct.
You came home and you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
That's it.
Correct.
My daughter Radhe, when she was little, very little, I always made sure if she's around me, I will take her somewhere where she can see the stars or outside in the nature or forest. So I take her up on the terrace, she looks at the stars, And she says, Jaggi, 10.
Because I could count 10.
Not she counts 10. That's the biggest number in the
And she
universe.
knows. Oh, wow.
Not she knows. That's the biggest number in the universe. Where can you count more? I am saying, whatever you think is the biggest number is just a question of more zeros, isn't it? So in her mind, 10 is the largest number in the universe. So she says, so many, 10. That's a great number. What's wrong with 10? Even all the stars want to wear number 10. Isn't it? So, our idea of numbers and our idea of universe, our idea of physics, well, there is a whole committed troll army against me, which they will all get on. I want to give them some material, otherwise how do they make a living? Poor guys. So let me give them some material. Today what you know as physics, what you know as science, whatever. See, in this cosmos or in this atom, whether you take the smallest unit or the ultimate unit, in both, over 99%, 99.99 something percent is nothing, vast nothingness, even in the atom. So you know, with all your objective observations, you know 0.0001 something, all right? With that, you're audacious enough to make conclusions about life. I think it's too stupid. Simply because you can create a little more comfort and convenience, this doesn't mean you figured out all life, all right? So, this is not… I'm not trying to denigrate science. Science has done fantastic things. Life is more comfortable than ever before. Survival is more simple than ever before. But being able to do something better and knowing are two different things. So the longing to know is what drove science. But today it's all like innovation, doing one more thing, one more gadget, one more nonsense, so that people can do. See, for example, I'm not talking against any brand, phones are coming every year. Whatever, one calls it the entire galaxy, another calls it 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 17. Producing newer and newer models is only a question of commerce, because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll stay with the same phone, it's not good for
No
the
repeat
economy.
business.
Huh?
No repeat business.
Not good for the economy.
Correct.
Let me not accuse just one company.
Yeah,
It's not good for the general
Consumerism
economy.
needs to grow, and this is a path towards it.
Don't use the word grow. Not good for the economy.
Not good.
You need to consume. At the same time, we crib that ecology, all right? Leave that aside. But the important thing is, there's no real longing to know. That's a very small band of scientists, tiny. Rest are all thinking what research will give them funding. It's all about funding. Very unfortunate, but it's all about funding. Oh, how can we do without fund? That is true also. I'm saying, it's like when commerce gets into science, when commerce drives science, that's not science for me.
Yeah.
When commerce drives spiritual process, that's not spiritual process for me. People who do not know, I'm talking to the troll army, which they'll come with you anyway. I'm just telling them, many years ago, we formed Isha Foundation and Isha Business. Our people said, Sadhguru, this is too up in the face. Isha Business, what is this? I said, this is how it is with me. Foundation will never do business. Business will not do dana dharma, it will do business. You're not in terms with it, it's up to you. For me, this has to be clear. Spiritual process will not be handled as business.
And you'd rather disclose it and talk about it upfront rather than try and do it in
No,
a…
what is the point?
Correct. I agree with you.
The Isha Business will not do dana dharma, they're looking for profit.
And foundation will not look for
Foundation will not do business, they're just looking how to get it across to people.
profit. Yeah, yeah. So Sadhguru, I think this is a good segue. I'm an entrepreneur.
My Segway, they have not returned, it went to service, it didn't come back.
So I love your specific views on different automobiles. So
No, it went for repair and the damn thing is
they
not come
never
back at
returned
all.
it back to you because they're worried that bike is okay. So, so Sadhguru, one of the questions I have, or at least I believe, that there is a structural difference between a business person and an entrepreneur. I believe so. A business person is running a business, understand? In my view, entrepreneur is someone who has a purpose beyond the commerce. There is commerce.
You slapping your own back too much, man, it'll turn red.
I'm trying, Sadhguru. This is an effort for some time. So, from your perspective, like from my perspective, I see you as an entrepreneur who saw that there is a purpose in bringing better living and better life for a lot of people, and it has to be done sustainably. Because if it is not done sustainably, it won't last for a long period of time. And that's how you combine these two initiatives. When you were starting back in the day, I read about your story, whatever I have read little. I think that the information is more, so I may have missed it, so I apologize. You already had a thriving business, so actually left a business to start Isha Foundation. How did you have the courage, and what did you not get scared of the risk that something like that comes with?
You can call it business, is there no fear about this, no fear… I don't operate out of fear because I don't see how a man can lose anything in this life. Because you come with nothing, you'll go with nothing. One who's come with nothing, what can he lose? Oh, what about money, what about this? Arey, there's a way around those things. For every problem, there is a solution. It's just that you get tangled up in the problem. You're not looking at the problem, you're getting tangled in the problem. Your psychological mess you think is real. Actual situation is only one or two situations. In your mind, they will multiply into many. Let me put it like this. This happened when in 2008, when the West at least was going into recession. In 2008, India did not go into a recession because you had not climbed at all to fall. South Korea fell big time, US and Europe took some big hits. India, some people were saying, oh, we did not fall, we are the strongest economy. I said, you have to climb to fall down. If you don't climb, you won't fall, of course.
We were a much smaller economy.
Yes, very small. So there was no place to fall. So when this happened, everybody was in black mood and I was asked to do certain things in the economic forum, leave that alone. There's this thing that happened, an American delegation went to China because they're trying to expand business there.
In China?
Yeah, those are not the tariff days. Because they want to find some new market and do something because recession is beginning to set in.
Export, find a new market.
Yeah. So all the Americans are looking billionaires, but crestfallen. The same was happening in Davos also. They're crestfallen because a few billions down they are. Just a number game.
Yeah.
It's nowhere are billions, all right, it's just in your mind. So this Chinese guy, very wise guy, he did this in a hotel lobby. He brought one chair and put it in front of a mirror. He said, see, here, this is one chair, in the mirror one more chair. And then he asked somebody to bring another mirror, put it there, and see, now there are hundreds of chairs. If you lose these hundreds of chairs, no problem, as long as you have this chair. It's the only chair you actually had. So this is all in our mind, this loss will happen, that loss will happen. I don't see it that way. I don't see life as success and failure. You come as a human being, you have 4 limbs and you got a few working brain cells, you're a big success in my mind. Whether you experience yourself as a success or you make a misery out of yourself is an unfortunate reality a lot of people are doing to themselves.
I think, Sadhguru, this is such a well taken takeaway because it's the reality of life that some days you will feel like, I'm not going through a great time, some days…
No, I'm not talking about that. Why should you feel some days like this, some days like that? I'm every day blissed out only. Whatever the hell is happening.
That's the learning that we should take away from you.
No, it's not a learning, I'm saying. It's not a learning, it's a fundamental fact
Yeah.
in our existence.
That we need to remind ourselves.
You need to recognize this is the reality.
Yeah. Yeah. That instead of being bothered, like reality is like you said, you're with two hands, two limbs, you're four,
Some working brain cells.
some working brain cells.
Now, working means they're working for you, not against you. There are a lot of people, their brain cells are working but against them.
Okay. So what worse can happen? So you're absolutely right. We should not put oneself through the misery or the satisfaction.
See, if you're
agony.
not dead, you're doing great.
Yeah.
If you're dead, no problem at all.
Yeah. So, Sadhguru, let's talk about Sadhguru, the app founder. You do so many things. One recent new addition is you have a new app,
Miracle of mind.
Miracle of Mind, which, just for everyone listening, is probably the fastest growing app ever in the health category. Fastest growing app in itself in any category overall, which recently beat ChatGPT in the number of downloads.
Why that's become the standard?
Because ChatGPT is probably
I'm thinking Miracle of Mind is a failure. And I also think I'm a big failure because there are 8.4 billion people. Leave the children below 18 or below 15, let's leave them. So at least 7 billion people are there, adults. 7 billion people. Out of them, how many of them wake up joyfully and go to bed joyfully? Let me give him a good percentage, maybe 1 billion. That too for reasons other than themselves. Today, I beat you up, so I am going to bed happy. Today, I made money and you lost money, so I am going to bed happy. Today, I ran a race and I am first and you are nothing. This is how people are joyful, unfortunately. They're just enjoying other people's failures, essentially. How many are actually simply joyfully going to bed? Very small number.
just blissful as it is.
Maybe it's in millions, but still very small number. Others are going happy or this thing because they're drunk or they're drugged or something, they're using chemicals to feel little like this and go unconscious. They don't know. In unconsciousness, you neither know misery nor joy, all right? Both are gone. So, essentially, when there are 7 billion eligible people, little more than 2 million enroll, and I don't think it's a success.
It's spoken truly like a entrepreneur, Sadhguru, because for an entrepreneur, the most important is how many people's lives
let me
you can
take
make
away
it.
that word because I think calling myself an entrepreneur would be a bit ugly. So I will tell you like this, do you want to do a venture in your life or an adventure in your life? An
Oh, that's a
adventure…
good way to compare, huh? Venture or adventure?
Yeah.
I love it.
If you do a venture, you're counting money. How do you count money? I have less money than you, so you feel very happy. You're making $1 billion a day, but I made 2 billion, you'll become unhappy. Look at this. Your joy is not about yourself, your joy is everybody should be doing badly. That's the only thing. Adventure means you choose something which is not necessarily safe,
Yeah.
could be dangerous. Dangerous means you lose money, I don't think it's very dangerous. You could lose your life. Well, losing money could lead to that one way or the other. You could lose your life one way or the other because this is the only thing you have and that's the most fragile thing. Poof, it'll go away. So you're breathing.
Yeah.
In, out, inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. Next inhalation did not happen, you're gone.
Yeah.
Not a trace. Wherever we search, you will not be there.
Nahi milegi.
That fragile. And it's the only thing you have. Tell me what else you have?
Nothing. That's
Nothing.
it.
Rest is all imagination.
Yeah.
The only thing you have. The only thing you have is like you're playing yo-yo with it. If you stop it, you will die.
Yeah.
If you play, you know you will die. This is the beauty of life.
Guru, you said such an intense things with so much happiness. But I'll tell you this, I think your blissfulness and your perspective of adventure I think it starts with your biking. The more I think about it, because when you're
No, no, I
biking,
cycled across South India at
also,
one time. But then I added a motor to it.
but it's such a, you're like, if you think about it that simply, that's all you have. That's all you have.
It's not you think about it, that's all you have.
That's a fact.
Whether you think or you don't
Don't
think,
think.
whether you have a
That's
brain
the
or
reality.
you have no brain, that's all you got. The only miracle that you know is the human mind.
Yeah.
But where is all the human misery manufactured in the world? In Delhi? Huh?
Same place.
In the human mind.
In the human mind.
So this mind, which could be a miracle, now has become misery manufacturing place. This is simply because you don't know how to hold it.
Hmm.
When I say you don't know how to hold it, if I ask you a simple question, do you want your intellect or mind to be sharp or blunt? Choose, I'm going to bless you.
Sharp.
Sharp, you asked for it. So if if you're given something very sharp, let's say we gave you a knife which is super sharp, now how you hold it, you must be very conscious.
Careful.
Conscious,
Yeah.
not careful.
Conscious, that's right.
Careful comes, your mother will tell you, be careful. So like this people go on, why? Because if I give you a sharp knife, you must know which is blade, which is handle, first of all.
Correct.
You hold the blade side and please hold it firmly means you held it tight, well, it'll cut through your hand. Or you held it the right way but you are little la 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 like this, intestines will come out, either yours or somebody else's. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why we don't give a knife to a child's hand is not because the knife is dangerous, because the child is not conscious enough, his body is not stable enough. So we are warning him. Knife has never been dangerous. Yeah, you ever heard of a knife jumping and stabbing somebody? Did it ever happen? So depending on whose hands it is,
And how conscious they are.
if a certain hand holds it, this knife can save a life. If another kind of hand holds it, it can take a life. Another hand holds it can produce a meal at least. I'm saying, knife by itself has no intent. You can use it any way, which way you want. Similarly with your intelligence, you can use it any which way you want. I can use it to poke you, or I can poke myself, or I can bring well-being to both. This is a choice that you have every moment. You're making all the wrong choices and you think something wrong with the mind, you think something wrong with the world, you think something wrong with somebody who's sitting in front of you. No, the only thing is, your intelligence is not working for you, it's working against you. You can call it any number of names. People call it stress, anxiety, this one, that one, that one, all these things are being made normal now. Doctors are also saying, this is very normal, you're anxious, I am also anxious, no problem. Both of us like this only, it's very normal to be anxious.
Correct.
So what is it? If you're a toddler, you have a diaper problem. If you become an adolescent, you have hormonal issues. If you become middle age, it's a crisis. If you become old age, it's horrendous. Tell me, when is it good for you? Everything is a problem. You're seeing life as a problem because your mind is not working for you, it's working against you. How to make people understand, not only understand, give them tools to make their mind in such a way that it's a miracle. There are various ways to look at it. One simple thing is, now, only now in the last 3, 4, 5 years' time, so-called modern science. See, science is neither modern nor ancient. Science is when you look at something the way it is and in some way systematize your understanding and also able to
Explain it to others.
express it to the world, it becomes science. You didn't invent science, there is neither ancient science nor modern science. People keep asking me, Sadhguru, such ancient wisdom you have. Arey, God damn it, very ancient wisdom. We need wisdom which is contemporary.
You're millennial, Sadhguru.
What do you mean? I've been across 2 millenniums, which one do you think?
No, millennial is a thing that people who are born after the 90s are called. Millennials, so just
I know all these things. See, as if there are not enough segregations in the name
I'm
of…
sorry, I have to get out of the identities.
in the
I'm
name
sorry,
of
I'm labeling you so many
color,
times.
creed, race, religion, nationality, nonsense, every kind. Now you guys want to segment one generation into 10
No, no,
parts.
Sadhguru, मैं तो आपको कह रहा हूँ, you're the same generation. There is no difference. But I want to hear the full thing, that what you were explaining, because that's a very thoughtful perspective that you shared,
What?
which is science is just what you see, and you can systemize it and communicate
See,
with it.
if you pay enough attention to anything, you will see more than what others are seeing. Right now, the plant is putting up lot of leaves and flowers. You can only look at that and wow, somebody painted it green. No, then you look at it, these brown tubes which are going, which don't even look alive, it's full of sap,
Yeah.
it's going into the earth, then you know there is soil. It doesn't take any knowledge, it just takes
To identify.
observation, attention. Without the keenness of attention, you will live and die on the surface of life. So science is trying to little fathom the physical world. But as we already said, the physical world is 0.000 something, that's all there is. This is modern science saying this, all right? Yoga has always said this, but it doesn't matter. Now it has to come from a Western university, otherwise it's not true. 1,000 things. One of the things that's happening today is, in the name of science, they are saying, breath and our emotions and our experience is very related. Oh, discovery this is, invention. For 10,000 years we've been talking about this. And we have an entire science, how to master the breath as a process and the deeper aspect of breath, which is the prana, and how thought and chemistry are connected, how you can just create the chemistry that you want. Now, why I'm wearing glasses because if you look at me, you will think I'm doped, which I am. I'm stoned all the time. No chemical, no substance. This is the greatest chemical factory.
Yeah.
If you activate this properly, the endocannabinoids and anandamide makes you in such a way, you're blissed out every moment of your life. See, there is a old saying, I think if I'm correct, it's a Chinese saying, which says, a fool discovers what the wise men knew 1,000 years ago. But see, these facts won't spread easily.
Mm.
You tell them there is a pill, if you take it, that will spread like that, like fire.
Like the Ozempic pill nowadays.
Ozempic.
You heard about it,
Yeah,
Sadhguru?
yeah, it's for
The
a…
miracle drug they are calling it.
No
What do you
miracle.
think about it?
See, it's a… See, people are doing business out of it, so I don't want to get in get in their livelihoods. I'm not interested in that. But if you don't know how much to eat
By yourself.
as a human being, see, the essence of being human is this. You're not special in any way compared to other creatures. They are born, you are born. The same way, reproduction. They grow up, you grow up. But they simply grow up, you grow up with lot of fuss. They earn a living, you earn a living. Make a huge fuss, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business, I'm this, nonsense, whatever to earn a living. Every sparrow is earning its own living, isn't
Correct.
it?
Correct.
They reproduce, we reproduce. That also they do it effortlessly, we do it with too much fuss. They die, we
Oh,
die. Too much fuss about death. So there is nothing you're doing bigger than them. I have lived in the jungles, I have paid so much attention to various lives, alone by myself, surviving in the jungle. Each one of them have a complete life of their own. You take an elephant, you take an ant, you take a grasshopper, you take anything, they have full-fledged life of their own families, their own emotions, their own egos, their own problems, their own dramas, everything they have. Only thing is, they are doing all that instinctively. We can do this consciously. This is the fantastic thing about us. Same things. Because we do it consciously, suddenly it's worlds apart.
Yeah.
If you surrender that one thing, then
The world would
you're…
change in a
No,
certain
no,
way.
no, you're trying to go back on your evolutionary scale, which so many people are successful. When you say you don't know when to stop eating, You have surrendered your evolution,
Yeah.
which took millions of years to get you here. To get a brain of this size, to be able to be cerebrally capable like this, you're surrendering that because you have surrendered your ability to be conscious. So what is called meditation fundamentally is to move into a consciousness which is of a higher intensity than the way you are right now.
Correct.
In this, I was talking about the scientists discovering about the breath. See, if you sit here, don't close your eyes, you're feeling sleepy, you'll fall asleep. I am closing my eyes, don't follow me, okay? I've practiced a lot to keep my eyes closed and not fall asleep. It takes a lot, okay? So you close your eyes like this and think clearly about a mountain. You will see your chemistry and your breath will become one way, your breath will change.
Hmm.
You think about ocean, visualize an ocean, your breath will change. Think about a tiger, your breath will change. With every thought, if you create it with a certain intensity, breath will change. With breath, the chemistry will change. You're doing all this accidentally. No wonder you're anxious.
Hmm.
If you're driving accidentally, will you be anxious or no?
Yeah.
100%. The nature of accidental existence is anxiety. Now when you say anxiety is normal, you're admitting you're living accidentally.
Accidentally.
This is a crime against humanity.
And our
Because-
evolution.
Yes, the crime against humanity means the human project on this planet is millions of years old. From a single-celled animal to make you this complex and sophisticated, it's taken tremendous amount of research and development. You can dismiss it off as one word, evolution, but it is thousands and thousands of iterations nature has
Of
done
process.
to get you to this place. But now, you're surrendering that as if it's worthless because you've not realized the worth of being born as a human being.
So, Sadhguru, I'm switching to a different question, which is university and its perspective in education. You of course went through different paths in your.
I went to the university.
You went.
I went to the garden only.
And I did not go to university at all. But you're so wise today, Sadhguru. Like you have, like when I went.
Whoever told you university gives you wisdom?
And I think that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how did you pursue wisdom? Because when I went across the ashram, then a level of details that have gone in is unparalleled. We went to Devi Mandir, for example. There we saw the Trishul is at 11 degree. So at